Welcome to my review of Carol, directed by Todd Haynes, a romance drama that centers on a young 1950s New York department store clerk, Therese, who becomes romantically involved with an elegant, older, and more experienced married woman of one daughter. So Carol is a film that's been getting a lot of buzz. A lot of people are saying that this is among the best films of 2015. It's ranked very high up on a lot of people's lists. And I saw Carol for the first time almost a week ago, and I have to say that I think it is a great film. I can see why some people love it so much. However, I'm not quite like everyone else. I don't think it's the best film of the year. I don't even think that I would put it in my top 10, but I do think it is indeed one of the better films of 2015, and it is something that you should definitely check out if you can. First of all, the romance between Carol, played brilliantly by Cate Blanchett, and Therese, played by Rooney Mara. It feels incredibly authentic. It doesn't feel like it's romanticized. While watching the film, you can totally get why these two would be infatuated with one another, because essentially they are one and the same. Or at least there is a parallel as you look at Therese with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is controlling. It's a very one-sided relationship. And you look at Carol, who is married, and the husband is controlling, again loves her, but she doesn't love him back. And looking at Carol and looking at Therese, you kind of get the sense that maybe that's what Carol was in her younger days. She was Therese. Therese is young, she's inexperienced, she's afraid as well as confused. She doesn't really quite know what's going on with her. She just knows that she likes Carol. There's something that attracts her to her. And then you look at Carol, who's in a loveless marriage. She's absolutely miserable. The only thing that's really bringing her any kind of joy is her daughter. Given the state of homophobia in the 1950s, as well as it being just completely outlawed in America, she was somebody who was forced to settle. And this is exactly where Therese is heading with the old boyfriend of hers. And I did mention earlier how the romance between Carol and Therese, it feels authentic, it feels natural, it feels organic. And it also feels uncomfortable, but in the way that it's supposed to. And I'm not a huge fan of this expression, but it really is kind of like being a fly on the wall, watching two people fall in love with one another. And all the performances in the film are especially top-notch. Rooney Mara, Kyle Chandler, to name a couple. But there is one performance that outshines everybody else's, and that is indeed Cate Blanchett's. She gives quite an extraordinary performance in the film, especially during this one scene where she has like a bit of a breakdown. That's definitely going to be the scene they'll show at the Oscars. But it's not only one of the best female performances of the year, but it's one of the best performances of the year. As for any last statements I want to make about this film, I really enjoyed its retro soundtrack, especially with the utilization of Easy Living by Billie Holiday. Nice little addition. And I was also somewhat emotionally involved with its characters. One of the films that this film reminded me of as I was watching it was Brokeback Mountain, because they both have some similarities here and there in certain aspects. But I think Brokeback Mountain is a far better film, and I was much more emotionally involved in that film than I ever was with Carol. Brokeback Mountain has some seriously impactful moments, and I even came across a review that said that Carol was the Brokeback Mountain of this generation. I disagree. However, overall, there is indeed greatness within Carol that I do not think should be missed. So I'm going to give Carol a good 4 out of 5. If you're somebody who has seen Carol, then do let me know your thoughts on it. And as always, I'm Colin Kirkland, and thank you so much for watching.